Good evening, this is Martin Welder on the American Experience and American Experience video number 17, and it is about respect, starting on page 248. Now, this is mainly a book, as I mentioned earlier, between the difference, cultural, behavioral, whatever not, between Germany / the continent of Europe and the United States of America. And even though some chapter in the book don't really make a difference as far as, that there is a difference between these two continents, let's say for instance, the last video, man versus machine, about driver assistant gadgets, they're everywhere. It doesn't matter what continent you're on. But this one, respect, is very unique as far as I experienced it in the United States of America. Why? I don't know. So I come here to 2008 and start working at the prison. Obviously, in prison, respect is a big thing. People don't have a lot, if they have anything at all. Many of them rely on their connections to the other, group from the same race. There's a whole bunch of racism going on, especially in medium and maximum security prisons. So all is divided between races, very, very strong divisions. There is no crisscrossing, except for business purposes and stuff like that. So, but I didn't know that this respect thing is also a big thing outside of prison. I guess it gets, how we say, strengthened or give more importance in prison, this whole respect thing, because there's less opportunities to walk away or whatever not. But the term respect or disrespected or respected or whatever have you pretty much comes up a lot. We don't use that term at all, as far as I remember, in my 35 years in Europe. In Europe, we don't, use, oh, that was very disrespectful, or that guy made a snide comment regarding my girlfriend, and that was very disrespectful, so I have to go and kill him. Or, that's just one example. This whole respect thing is handled differently in Europe. In Europe, I'd say you deal with people, you interact with people, you make business with people, etc. And if you don't like somebody, or if you don't like how somebody talks about you, or talks to you, or talks about anything which you hold dear, or which you like, or talks about your family and friends in a detrimental way and stuff like that, you just walk away, more or less. You don't associate with that person anymore. You consider him or her stupid, because you assume, okay, that person is talking badly about this and that, and my family, my friends, my girlfriend, my wife, whatever have you, and there is no reason to do that. So because she does that, makes him look stupid, because there is no real reason. He doesn't know me like that, and even if he does know me, there is no reason to spread lies about my life or my family and stuff like that. So yes, definition-wise, it is obviously disrespectful, but we don't use that term. We just call the person stupid in various ways, obviously. And that's the major difference. Here, you, I don't know, you go to a car dealership wanting to look at cars, maybe just for fun, maybe for comparison purposes, maybe you're really looking for, another car. So the salesman lets you standing there for 10 minutes, talks to two other customers, maybe even a new customer comes in and does get service first before you, who was already standing there for 10 minutes. Yes, that's disrespectful, but in Europe we just walk away and say, he's stupid. I use that comparison, disrespectful and stupid, basically, if you noticed. And I think that's really what it boils down to. But the term respect / disrespect is very much used in the United States, where it is virtually non-existent in Europe. Maybe if you go to spend your vacation holidays for 2 weeks in Europe or something like that, or know have family there because one of your family members moved there, married, whatever have you, and you will notice what I'm talking about. Same the other way around. If you come to the United States, you immediately get confronted with that respect thing. Simple as that. Numerous reasons, but what it boils down to is the lack of one human being to acknowledge the other human being or treat the other human being appropriately. Okay, so that's what it boils down to, which is existent, of course, on either continent. That's not the question. We just call it differently. We call it differently in Europe than we do it in the United States. In the United States, you are immediately confronted with the term respect or disrespected. When you try to calm down an argument between two people, that's really happened, but I don't want to go into detail on that. But you try to calm down an argument between the two people, and you try to calm the main aggressor down, and he basically verbally jumps at you, calls your names. And of course, that's disrespectful. Now, we don't confront that person and say, in Europe, we wouldn't confront the person and say, oh, you're being disrespectful. I haven't done, was I ever disrespectful to you? Why are you talking to me like that? We wouldn't do that. We just either continue on our path and trying to calm the situation down, or we just walk away. I guess similar in Europe, in the United States, except here again you use that term disrespect and respect. That's very common here. So, but it also appears that a lot of tension is being brought up and steered up by the term disrespect, or somebody feels disrespected by somebody else. It just feels me like that. It feels like that. If I watch shows sometimes on TV, like 48 Hours or crime shows, whatever their name and stuff like that, you also very often come across that term disrespect. Oh, he was disrespectful, so I had to kill him. Oh, he was disrespectful, so I had to run him over. Oh, stuff like that. I don't say it doesn't happen in Europe, except in Europe I guess you have a harder time. First of all, you don't associate or continue to associate with people who are or have been in the past disrespectful to you, who called your name, treated you unfair, and or tried to take advantage of you. You invite them to your house. The next day you notice, oh, 2 or 3 of my trinkets are missing. There's some change missing from my drawer, and whatever have you. But that's the end of the story. You don't associate with that person anymore. He disrespected you, so to speak. Yes, he did, but we just don't call it like that. In Europe, we just say he's stupid. He's an a-hole. I don't want to have him around anymore. I guess that's the main difference. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Call it either way you want, really. But it's noticeable that that term respect is, or the opposite of disrespect, is such a big issue in the United States. To be disrespected is a horrible thing, and to be respected, I guess, is a good thing. I don't know. We just don't use it here in Europe or in Germany, and we just deal with people. I guess one of the major differences is that why we don't use that is we assume respect when we deal with strangers or people we haven't met, when we walk to a store, when we buy a car, when we walk down the street, when we order in a restaurant. I think what we do different is we assume respect, because there is no reason to automatically assume that a person you meet for the first time is gonna be talking bad about you, is gonna be lying to you, stealing from you. There's no need for that. There's no reason for that, because I just meet that person. I just met that person. So I give that person the same amount of respect on the initial contact as I expect that person to be given to me. And that's just natural way of living, I guess, you know. So we don't assume disrespect and we don't assume respect. We just assume fair treatment according to the situation, you know. Of course, you know, if I come on strong and disrespectful, I cannot, you know, assume I get, you know, a nice and passionate response back. But be that as it may, I guess that's the main difference. If you want to look for a difference between Europe and America as far as respect is concerned, we don't use that term, but that might be a, you know, cultural thing or continental thing or whatever have you thing. But we approach situations like we assume respect. We assume that, you know, people are going to be treating me nicely and fairly, and everybody in my family, my relatives, whatever have you, and stuff like that. We assume that. That is an assumption when we go out on the street and walk our dog in our neighborhood. You see? So that's logical. That's, you know, because there's only a few people who just, you know, out there and hating everybody, seriously. But it's pretty much the same in the United States. I don't see how this is any different. You know, you also live somewhere. You walk your dog in your neighborhood. You don't assume that they're gonna be treating you unfairly and calling your names when you walk your dog in the neighborhood, or when you go into a store, gas station, a school meeting with teachers and parents and stuff like that. You don't assume that, you know, you are being treated unfair, or you're not being treated nice, or you are, you know, being treated as an outsider, or whatever have you. You know, at least I don't. Maybe some people do, I don't know. But the main assumption is when you go out in the world, leaving your house, that people treat you fairly, isn't it? I don't see no difference between Germany and the United States here. But there's a difference in as far as respect is concerned. It's being used, the term is being used, and it's a big issue, disrespect. Just stay away from people who can't stand you, I guess. If there's a message to all that, you know, just put some distance between you. And if you can't, just don't communicate, don't talk to that person. You know, I guess that's a fair and safe way to deal with situations like that. You know, you don't have to get yourself all wound up over, you know, idiots, as we would call them, or stupid people. Let them be, you know, walk around them as much as you can and let them be, and live your life and do the best on that subject. That's all you can do. All right, so much for that. American Experience video number 17 about disrespect and respect and the term being used on either continent.